I've just started this new series, which you just mentioned, CarCast. It is making a man talk. I ask questions to my husband because men have a different side and men don't usually talk. The perspective I get from a man is so different from everything else, right? You have a platform, you have social media, you know how to make videos. Why don't you put this man's perspective out?
We have someone very, very special here for you. She's a mother, she's an entrepreneur, she's a wife, she's a social media influencer. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Miss Neha Upadhyay Samuel with us.
I think for women most important is discipline and time management. एक minute का हिसाब हम रखते हैं. My day starts a night before.
Okay.
Like you will see my clothes are there, my gym bag is packed. Even the shoes that I'm going to wear is decided. Because I'm a new entrepreneur, it took time for me to understand this. But I've had a couple in the past where they said, you know what, I'm totally burnt out and this is my resignation, right?
How do you hire people? Based on the vibe that they have or based on their resume?
Based on the vibe. I have learned this because degree will get you entry into the room, but your character will decide how long you stay in the room.
Yeah, first and foremost, how do you juggle everything? Entrepreneur hona, social media videos banana, which I find really difficult regularly karna. And apart from that, you do so many things. So take us through how you juggle everything around.
I think the most important thing when you talk about what all I do is motherhood, which you missed. I think for women most important is discipline and time management. एक मिनट का हिसाब हम रखते हैं. जैसे सुबह टाइम पे उठना, टाइम पे सोना, सेटिंग योर प्रायोरिटीज राइट, ये सारी चीज़ें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड थिंग्स डोंट फॉल ऑल ऑन योर प्लेट वन डे. धीरे धीरे फर्स्ट आई बिकेम एन एंटरप्रेन्योर. I understood ये life कैसे होती है. Then I thought ये content is very creative. I can show my creative side there. वो आया. Then motherhood came, and a lot of times I feel like कि भाई it's going off now. I'm falling off my lane. So then I remember that you're not the first person who's doing it. Many moms have done it in the past. Many female entrepreneurs have done it in the past. Look at them and get inspired and get going. One thing about me is I don't like stopping anything that I start. Like once you get off, fear it becomes difficult to get back. So I continue. So that is my secret.
Okay, so if you're doing social media videos, for example, you're doing a CarCast, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
So you do it on a regular basis, right?
I've just started this new series, which you just mentioned, CarCast. It is making a man talk. I ask questions to my husband because men have a different side and men don't usually talk, So I thought, I want this side to be on the social media. That's when I started. But how I do that is, like I said, time management. So when we leave from office and we reach home, is that one ride where we shoot, and then even before I get down of the car, I post it then and there. So इसमें कोई टाइम नहीं हम ज़्यादा लगाते, रॉ रखते हैं जितना हो सके. So like I said, time management. तो ये उस तरीके से मैं social media भी करती हूँ.
Okay, so how is one day in Neha's life? Start from the morning when you wake up.
I wake up 5:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Actually, honestly speaking, my day starts a night before.
Okay.
Like you will see my clothes are there, my gym bag is packed. Even the shoes that I'm going to wear is decided.
Wow.
My son's uniform is kept outside. So the day is planned like that. Also, many alarms are set. So I wake up 5:30 in the morning. I freshen up. I do my skincare. I get into my gym clothes. Naha dho ke, I'm ready. And I go down, have my first coffee because otherwise I can't, function my day.
That's shy for me, by the way.
Yeah. So I have coffee in the morning and then I start on my violin practice. Now I do violin also. Why I do, I'll tell you later.
You should have told me this before. We would have gotten a violin for you to play.
Oh no, I'm learning.
Okay.
I'm just learning. I don't want to embarrass anybody here on the show by playing it.
मैंने play कर दिया तो you would be embarrassed.
नहीं. So you know violin?
I don't.
अच्छा, so violin आप play नहीं कर पाओगे.
Okay.
Violin is not like a keyboard or any other instrument जो आप ऐसे ही try कर सकते हो. There will be no sound till you know the basics of violin. That's why they call it as the hardest instrument.
नेहा इतना खूबसूरती से किसी ने इंसल्ट नहीं किया मुझे कभी. आप play नहीं कर पा, आपसे होगा ही नहीं.
नहीं, मैं in general बता रही हूँ. You know, violin is
Okay.
a kind of, you know,
It's
because
very
this,
difficult
many
to play,
people
yeah.
say this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. फिर, you know, I have this 30-40 minutes of violin practice with my coffee. I finish that. 6:20 is when my son wakes up. And most of these things I can do is because my husband always supports me in things. And he gets him ready for the school. 10-15 minutes I spend with him. Jaise hi my son leaves, we get in the car, we go to the gym, we finish our gym, we shower there, we get ready there. ऑफिस के बाद जब हम निकलते हैं CarCast, जो हमारी वीडियोस बनती है, उसके बाद गो होम, बच्चे की पढ़ाई, बिकॉज है ना, हम वो वीकेंड पेरेंटिंग नहीं करते जब सिर्फ वीकेंड में बच्चों के साथ रहो. यू नो, हम एवरी डे वी टच बेस विद आवर किड. सो वीकेंड्स, सो वंस आई गो होम, आई डू हिज, you know, homework and catch up with all the syllabus at school. My husband takes him for a walk in the evening, and then we sleep maximum by 9:30. This is how a day in my life looks like.
Where is OTT in your life then?
OTT in my life, yes. So what I do is I uninstall the app on the Sunday night and I install it back next weekend. In that also, there are so many weekends where I don't get OTT. Like for example, today I came here because my weekends are more busier than weekdays, which is also a new thing that I've started, that just to feel relaxed, rejuvenated, you don't have to be on the couch. Matlab, utho subah, you just shower, get ready for the weekend. Even if you want to go to the beach, just get up and get ready and just get going. And that time with family and fun actually makes me very happy and fresh next, you know, on Monday. So ye OTT now, for example, this weekend I missed. Like this I miss, which is why I choose very quality content. When I get a chance, choose something quality, watch it, enjoy, and just uninstall again.
What is it that you're watching these days?
I recently finished watching, there is this show from India of 4-5 friends. In 90s, they were making movies. I forgot the name. So this is a 90s real story where, you know, it was a small village and they thought, you know, we need to bring the movies that happen in Bombay into our village and showcase on a big parda.
All right.
And then there was one visionary guy who said, why should I bring Bombay here? I would bring my village to the entire, you know, India. So that's how he started shooting his little, you know, movie. So he remaked Sholay, localized it as per his, you know, village. And his success, that time he couldn't make it big, but, you know, now the movie is everywhere and he made it really big now. So that is what I watched and I really loved it.
Neha, tell me this. If you watch a lot of OTT, spend a lot of time on social media, can you be successful?
No.
Simple answer is no.
Simple answer, absolutely no. But I'm not saying OTT or social media is bad. I just spoke to you about the show that I watched. I can right now tell you 5 things that I learned from that show. Like I said earlier, pick up the right things. I'm learning violin and people say social media is bad, it stops your growth. I right now follow everybody who's learning violin with me. Now that has become my small community. If I make 100, 200 people stand here and ask them in a room who's learning violin, I'm not going to actually find anybody, right? How do I build my community? I started following everybody. So many people now we chat together. Oh, Neha, you know what? Your bow is a little tight, you know, loosen it up. We talk like this.
Okay.
I see them, they see me, we get motivated. So I don't think social media is really bad, but you need to know who you need to follow. What is your priorities? For example, I'm a mother. I follow so many doctors that talk about, you know, child's health. I am also fitness enthusiast. I follow so many trainers making good content and, you know, I can learn my health related stuff about. So it's just, you know, your choices.
Wow, that's very nicely put.
Thank you.
I had not thought about it in that perspective.
Yeah.
Let's take you back 15 years. Okay, you're in Mumbai.
Yeah.
You're from Mumbai, right?
Yeah.
So you're in Mumbai. And 15 saal pehle, would you have thought that you'd be sitting here and, you know, talking about your life journey and, you know, everyone looking at you and reflecting?
Faizan, I came from a very, very, very humble background. I was raised by a single mother. My mom really struggled for every month paying my school fees or, you know, getting me clothes to wear or, you know, having food on our table. But one thing, she was visionary. She knew I want to change my daughter's story. You know, they should be different. I remember when I turned 18, people won't even believe now when I say my story. When I turned 18, my mom enrolled me into driving class. And I said, Mom, we don't have money to do these things, and you're putting me in a driving class. I don't even think I'm ever going to have a car. Our house is, so tiny, there's no parking down. What am I going to do with that driving class, the license? She said, I'm getting you ready for your future. I said, I'm sorry. And she's told me this before also, okay, not only when I turned 18. She said, I'm going to get you ready for the future that is, waiting for you. You're going to be on a stage, you're going to talk about your story. People are not going to believe, but that time you're going to have all the skills that will help you shine bright, and that will keep you ready for the opportunities that come your way. So I think, yes, I dreamt big for myself always, because a visionary woman supported me and showed me that vision.
And growing up the way you have grown up with a single mother, and she was slogging it off, and you said that you had big dreams. What is it that you dreamt of during that time when you were growing up, when you were just a teen?
I'm sorry, this is a very emotional one, which is why I went somewhere else. But I remember when I was 13, and it was my school summer holidays. And like I said, always, all the struggles were my mom's struggles that time. And there was one little factory next to our house, and they were, I can call it as internship, right? And there were internship opportunities. And I went there and I worked, and I came back with 300 rupees.
Wow.
That's the first time I understood, dude, I can do something. I can really take some responsibility from my mom's shoulder, contribute in a very small way possible, but that's a big amount at that time, right? I said, I can do it, I can do this. That's the first time I realized I can help my mom. And this was a dream for me. This is what I wanted to do. Like a big dream, mom ko help karna hai. At that time, I didn't know she doesn't need my help. She is helping me to become something. But I was very naive. I thought I'm going to help my mom. So this is it. This is all that I had in my head. I'm going to do this. For a very long time, I was thinking I'm just taking responsibilities of my household. I'm helping my mom and I'm doing things. And once I matured, I realized I was building myself. My mom had a vision that she's going to build a daughter, and I was just helping myself in this. So that's all my dream was.
And now that you have a big car, you're living at a very comfortable place, and you're doing your own business, ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ अचीव किया लाइफ में?
Big car, big house, ye sara to was not on my list. Okay. That doesn't count how successful I am, or doesn't measure my success. Am I living the life that I wanted to? For example, having a lot of opportunities, building something, living my dreams. I remember when I was very young, I was very fascinated to learn tennis. But when I started understanding, the tennis racket is so expensive, the tennis sport is so expensive. And today I live in a community where I have a court and free tennis. You can just go anytime and play. So seeing that now I can fulfill my dreams, this is what my success is and what I've achieved. And I think, I've done something. And I also feel there's a lot more I want to do, which I will do.
I resonate with that tennis story. I could not play tennis for the same reason. We had courts, we had everything. My friends were playing tennis, but I could not buy a racket while growing up. So I completely understand what you're saying.
I remember that time when I think I had Googled, or I don't know what, but the racket was 6,000 rupees or 9,000 rupees. I said, no, this is not a sport. If the racket is so expensive, then the sport is going to be all the more expensive. So so these are the things that I haven't forgotten. Why? Because it helps me understand and measure my success. These are the things. These are those wishes which I had to kill, Though 99% of the things my mom did it for me, but there were little more extra wishes which I didn't. Then now when I can do it, I feel, okay, I've done something in life.
Sabse sasta racket that I looked out for was $1,500. I could not buy that. So I completely understand what you're saying. So what you're saying is, it's not material things that matter.
No.
It is those things that while growing up, you were not able to do that you can enjoy now. And that is achievement for you, right?
I think every self-made man or a woman will be able to relate to this. Material things don't really, you can have the best iPhone, the best house. And after a couple of days, you're like, okay, I've seen this, what next? But when you're doing something for your own self, that stays. Like, for example, I said I'm learning violin. That was my dream. That is my dream. Now, every morning I wake up, I'm so happy and so excited. I don't think that any other, anything I possess is going to give me.
That's awesome. You talked about your mother and how hard she worked.
Yeah.
You have just touched upon it.
Yeah.
And I can truly say that you think she's the hero in your life, right?
Yeah.
You idolize her, the
Yeah.
way you talk about her.
Yeah.
So how difficult was it for your mother? Your two sisters, right?
Yeah.
Especially living in Bombay, three girls living
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
One person sustaining everything.
Yeah.
How difficult or easy was it for your mom at that time? And can you please dwell upon that? Because I want everyone to take a learning from this. कि कितनी भी life में difficulties आए, there's always a way out.
Yeah. I just before I came for this interview, Shah Rukh Khan has just given one, was on a stage and gave interview, I think this morning or yesterday, I don't know, the video is viral. He says that having a kid means having a piece of your heart walking out of your body, right? And he says, I have so many pieces walking around me, you know, that's how precious it is. Now, something as precious as that, and two daughters, and you're a single mother, right? My mom wasn't equipped with a lot of things in terms of, you know, education or power or wealth or anything like that. So there was insecurities everywhere. Just two things that she wanted was good values for my daughters and good education. These two things she wanted. If that is the most difficult thing that I feel, okay? The most difficult thing on this planet is raising children. And then if you have to do that single-handedly with some limitations, that gets all the more difficult. So there were a lot of difficulties, but the vision, matlab, you know, if you have a vision in front of you, you automatically just, you know,
Find a way.
silent.
Yeah.
You silent everything else around you. You just focus on the vision and you can achieve anything. Your focus has to be really strong and clear. If you have that, then you can achieve anything. So hardships though, I mean, countless hardships, and I don't think I've forgotten any or I will forget any. But I'm very happy now that my mom lives with me here in Dubai. We live together. She's spending very good time with my son, her grandson, and yeah, we've achieved something.
You and Shah Rukh Khan has one more thing common, Abram, right?
Abram.
Yes.
Yeah. I am not. So I had read this name somewhere. That time I might have not. I wasn't a Shah Rukh Khan fan, but that time, very young. I was very young, and I'd read this name somewhere, and I said it's a very gorgeous name. It's a very different name, right? And now this name actually has a lot of meaning for me and my husband and my son, because my husband is a Christian. I'm a Hindu. My son was born in an Islamic country. So Abram is a sum of, you know, a unity, brotherhood, because it's Ibrahim, it's Abraham from the Bible, and there's Ram, and then it's Abram, which is a very cool, you know, name. So I think that's everything that it is. So I think it's very meaningful for us.
Such a beautiful thought.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. अब आप मुंबई से दुबई आ गई एंड दुबई आते ही आपने अपना बिजनेस फिट्जी स्टार्ट किया था. इट्स बीन 10 years since then. So how difficult or easy was it for you, because you were starting from some place also, and you're coming from a background which was not very privileged. लोगों को जो भी सोचना है वो सोचें, because a lot of people I'm sure would look at you and think इनको तो लाइफ में सब आसानी से मिल गया. So I want to touch upon these two things. एक तो privilege वाला. I'm sure a lot of people must have come to you and say अरे इनका क्या है, इनको तो 10 साल से आराम से business कर रहे हैं, right? And the other thing is, how difficult was it to actually establish your business when you came down to Dubai for the first time?
I met my business partner, who's my husband, back in Bombay in 2014. We were in the gym working out together, and he was, distributing some merchandise, orphanage merchandise. His father ran an orphanage in Bombay, so he was distributing those merchandise. That's when we started talking. So then he took everybody from the gym to the orphanage, and that's where we got a chance to talk to each other. And he felt very different because he was discussing business ideas. You know, you first time meet a girl and you don't talk about those things, you know. So that's how we met. In that point in time, I was doing really well in my career. I already was working, and I was a team leader with 32 people under me.
Wow.
And, living a dream life. We had a house in Bombay of our own, and, things were really going well. And I didn't know what my new decision is going to, bring for me. When he talked about his business idea and all, he talked about a technology platform that he wanted to. And technology has been my strength my first job was technology, and I love technology. So when we discussed, I said, you know what, this is an amazing idea. I would like to come on board. And there's a story behind it. And then we moved to Dubai, started. When we started, we again hit rock bottom, because it's not, business is not something where you think everything, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make this much money, then I'm going to invest again, and then double money. This only happens in movies, okay? And we hit rock bottom, and I said, oh my God, I'm pushed back to say 10, 15 years from where I struggled, and I reached somewhere in my life, and then again I'm, here. I'm struggling again, and now in a new country, in Dubai, in UAE, in Dubai. So it wasn't very easy. It was very, very, very difficult. Every single day you wake up, you're doing your own business. There's nobody else to do anything for you. You're doing everything on your own. And I'm not a business university student. We had to learn everything, on the
fly.
field. Yeah, we learned everything, and then we did it. So it's not been an easy journey. It's not been an easy journey.
And what do you want to say to the people who think that you're privileged and, and whatnot?
There are a couple of things here. For example, I work out in the gym, and when you look at those videos, some of my best friends say, looking at you, I think I can do these pull-ups too. Looking at you, I think I can also do these monkey bars. So a lot of times when you see something, it feels very easy, only until and unless you try it yourself. So, and success is such a thing that you don't get, for example, there are so many successful men and women, and you see so many kids, they don't make it, their kids, they don't make it. So success is something that you yourself have to achieve it for yourself. You have to wake up every single day. There has to be discipline. There has to be consistency. Only then you're going to have something. You're not going to get anything on your platter. So the people who talk about privilege, they must have not tried it. They don't know about it. So which is why they very easily say it.
आपने बहुत खूबसूरती से ये बात कही है. If I were to say this, I would say this, bro, walk in my shoes and then talk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
You talked about your husband being your business partner. Pros and cons of that?
Pros and cons. So this is a question that I receive usually a lot of times, because, even when we're sitting with investors, a lot of, investors ask us this first question: how do you run a business with your wife? How do you run a business with your husband?
Even run a husband wala bhi theek hai वैसे. How do you run your husband?
हो जाता है. That comes naturally to women. So my answer has always been, a husband and wife are always building something together. And that something is all the more difficult, which is life, which is building a family, That is very difficult. It's not easy, Together, two different people come together. You can't always, be at peace with your mom, dad also, with whom you've, born and raised with. So different people coming together, building a house, building a family, building a life together. Already it's difficult. Why? Because you have one vision. Like I mentioned earlier about vision, you have a vision ke, you want to have kids. You want to have your kids grow up in front of you. Then you want to see your grandkids. Yes, you have these vision, right? Similarly, in business, you're just extending that partnership where now you're building something else. So it's not difficult, Okay. If the vision is right, it's not difficult. For example, I and my husband might have some arguments at home, right? But when we're at our work, we're not a 18 years old teen, coming to work and saying, you talked to me like that yesterday, I'm not going to talk to you. No, you can't do that, You need to have your vision in front of you, and you need to be matured enough saying, what, you're at workplace, this is where you're making your dreams happen, man up, girl up, or whatever, and give your best.
Okay, but doesn't it happen that you see his face at home, then you come to work, and you see his face at work also?
Yeah.
And then you are around him for like literally 24 hours? कभी ऐसा होता है that, okay, बस बहुत हो गया?
Yeah, this maybe burnout, like you get burnt out seeing the same people, right? This applies for everything. When you're doing something that you enjoy, that you love, you don't get burnout. For example, you love your mic, right? You love talking to people. You love having conversations on your radio station. You will never get burnt out of that, right? True. You will find a way to make it interesting, right? So when you're doing something you love, me and my husband, we both have growth mindset. We both cannot, like, for example, one day if I take a break, I'm not well, I'm at home, I text him, I'm missing you, I'm missing office, I want to be there with you, Just imagine, we
Okay.
work out together. That 1 hour we spend together. We are with our kid together. We are at home together. We are at work together. Everything we do together. But still this. Why? Because we both have the same thing that we want to do, want to achieve things in life. And in fact, I feel who better than your life partner? What can go wrong? Tell me. If I am your business partner, there can be so many things. I would say, you know what, I just don't like the way you color your hair. I would say, "Arey, I don't like your
I always
attitude."
thought my hair looked good.
No, your hair looks amazing. Your
I'm
hair
just
looks
kidding.
amazing. I would just say, I don't like your attitude. I would say, I just don't like how you speak to people. I don't like how you dealt in this meeting, this solution I'm not okay with. I can just break this partnership however I want. You would say, you know what, I don't like your attitude. I don't want to be your business partner. With a husband and wife, what can go wrong? Unless you're ending your marriage, there is nothing that can go wrong, right? So I think husband-wife partnership, in fact, is a lifetime one. It's the best one to have.
Would a lot of people agree to that? What do you think?
See, when I post about my things, what we do together on my social media, I can assure you one thing, that people really get motivated. I have had messages, not many, but few, that my husband quit the job. We're starting our business together. We're both business partners and we're inspired by you. So thank you so much. That is a big change and a big win. Second is the investors that have invested in our business, the investors that approach us looking at we founders and our partnership. I think that's another big win. So I think, yes, many people are taking it in the right way.
But I'll confess, if my wife was my producer, I would have quit long time back. I'm just kidding. She's watching this. Okay, so moving on from this, as you said, you're a mother, you're a businesswoman, you're a wife, you're a social media person. So when no one is watching you, Neha, which version of Neha feels the most honest to you? No one is watching. There are no eyes on you. There's no pressure on you. There's no one around you. What is it that you'd like to do?
What is it that I would like to do?
What is it that you like to do? Or what is that version of Neha that you would want to explore, or, it would honestly come out?
Yeah. One thing about me being on social media where there are 100,000 plus people watching me, I am not creating content to get likes, views, which means that I'm not altering myself. If you come on my social media page, which is It's Neha Samuel, you will see that I only post about, I woke up at 5:30, I did my violin practice, my son is ready for the school. Today he learned 4 plus 4 is 8, 4 minus 4 is 0. Today I meal prepped this for my husband. I lifted an 80 kilos deadlift today. I would only talk about things that I am doing, and I only do what I enjoy. So I think I would continue doing that.
Okay.
I would continue doing that even if no one's watching or whatever that is, because I am living the best life, the life that I dreamt for myself. I'm not doing anything that's forced upon me. So yeah, I would be myself.
What is your biggest fear, Neha, when it comes to parenting, when it comes to business, or anything else at all?
Yeah. Parenting, I think, is completely different. The biggest fear there must be very different from what I'm going to say now. But in general, my fear is not getting opportunities to grow in life. And I've thought about this question a lot of times, thinking someday some wise man will sit or woman will sit and ask me this question,
Thank you
for asking me this, because not many have asked me this, My fear is, what if one day, I, for example, sell my business. My husband's asked me this question. What will you do? What is your fear? No, what will you do? He asked me. If we sell this business, right? I earlier used to think, I will relax. I will not do anything. But that actually is my fear, which I realize now. I always want to do something. I want opportunities, challenges, which, challenges me to grow. So if I don't get opportunities, then that is my biggest fear. I want to be doing something every time.
I am like that in that regard. I need to keep on doing something.
Yeah.
I just can't sit idle.
Otherwise you get anxiety, you get everything else that you don't want.
I got all that during COVID.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yes.
Anxiety, depression, everything, because I was not going out anywhere and not doing anything.
Yes, I
so
understand.
I resonate with you again.
Yeah.
Talking about motherhood once again, what do you think motherhood is more about? Control or surrender?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Explain.
Because Control is very important. Your kids don't know anything. They're like, a plain canvas, right? He would say, Mama, I don't want to nap right now. But I know I have to make him nap now because, he has a class in the evening. Otherwise, he would sleep there, right? So I have to dare control and say, you know what? I'm your mama. I know what's the right thing for you. We'll nap together. Let's nap, right? Now, surrender is how you do this thing, For example, I'll say, okay, take another 5 minutes, enjoy what you're doing, and then I'll be with you and together we will nap. So it's both, And these days, kids are very emotional. So you can't say, nap, You don't want to do that also, You're just going to find a balance and respectfully,
आपके साथ हुआ है ये?
बहुत.
हाँ?
Oh my God.
You and I both, possibly people from our generation.
Yeah.
हमें तो teachers ने भी बजाया जब चाहे.
Yeah. But now I see that my mother is so gentle with my son.
है ना?
But it wasn't like that in my time. My
Absolutely.
mom had different tools. There was a place something like this where she would keep her tool and she would go to the market and buy that tool to hit me. Sometimes it would be the wooden spatula, sometimes it would be something else, and she would keep it there. And I can't reach there. She knows it. She'll keep it there. She'll just show it to me, and sometimes she would hit me also with that.
Wow.
But I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the answer to that yet. My son's not that age yet. But I think the kids now are not as emotionally strong as they were then, because we had no much exposure to think about anything else. But okay, my mom is right. She's hitting me. She's making me do the right thing. And you forget then and there. Now it's very difficult. It's very dangerous now to do that thing to the kids. I think you should not also. But yeah.
Your mom be like, भाई साहब एक झाड़ू देना. मैडम कल ही तो लेके गई थी.
हाँ,
नहीं आज पिटाई वाली झाड़ू चाहिए.
नहीं वो चलती थी. बहुत दिनों तक झाड़ू चलाती थी. हाँ, she would keep it safe.
आपके ऊपर या फ्लोर पे?
दोनों. There wouldn't have been like two different ones, same ones.
Okay.
Same. Hygiene nahi tha.
Okay, so your answer is both control and surrender,
Yeah.
basically.
Both, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't say, I am best friend to my kid. No. They can find many best friends. You have to control them.
You have to be their parent.
Yeah, you have to be their parent. They're not going to find more parents. They can't find like ye 4 parents, ye 5 parents. They can find best friends. But you have to be parent there. That's
बड़ी important गहरी बात कही आपने.
Yeah.
Neha, what it takes to become you. Neha, the entrepreneur. What it takes to become you.
What it takes to become me, I would say consistency and showing up every single day, which means I think discipline, right? A lot of times people ask me things like, for example, I'll give you a small example, a gym example. How much time will I take to enter a gym and lose this much weight? That's not the kind of question you must ask. You must ask what it takes to stay consistent. How do you wake up at 5:30 every morning, right?
I've been thinking about that question for a long time now.
That is the most difficult thing.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
showing up for yourself, this I think is what I never fail. I show up for myself.
Okay, what is that one bold decision or the boldest decision that you've ever taken, which made you scared also, but changed everything? Starting Fitze?
Yes. Quitting my very well-settled career to get into entrepreneurship, moving to another country, just believing in the vision of the man I just met in the gym. I think all of that together was the biggest risk I have taken, the biggest risk. And if I am here today, I think success is mostly for people who take risk, The bigger the risk, the bigger the success. It can go the other way also, but that's what is risk, right? So I think that was the biggest
ये
risk.
सुनने में बड़ा philosophical लगता है. Are you a philosopher?
I just think about everything. I just analyze things, Like, for example, you asked me a question, what was the most, bold step I took? And I think it shook my soul when I did that. I came here and, landed in Dera and, looking at things. Acha, rent bharna hai, license cost this much. I took 2 loans to do my business. It shook me, I had no family support. So many friends, so many family members said, what are you doing? leaving your career, running behind a guy. So I think I don't need to be a philosopher to identify, dude, you took a very big risk, Neha, 10 years ago. Thank God you took that, but that was a big one. If it would have gone the other way, I don't know where would have I been, but yeah.
Do you still keep on thinking about things a lot?
Think about things a lot in the sense I think about things a lot, yes, because that's the only way I measure where I was, where I am, and my success, you know. So only when you look behind from where you've come and to where you are is when you will understand your success. Not looking there, I want to go there. If you think about that, then you're always going to think, yaar, kuch nahi kiya. I've never done anything. I've never done anything. So always think about where you come from and where you are now. So for that reason, I always think about things.
But aren't you contradicting yourself? You say vision all the time, and then now you're saying if I keep on looking there, I won't be able to
These are two
be.
different things.
Okay.
Vision is for where you want to be, okay? Where you want to go, what you want to build. And looking behind is to understand how far you've come, right? With only vision, you will always say, oh, because you're going to set high visions for yourself, not a small one, ki bhai coffee, I'm going to make a coffee and I'm going to have a coffee. Big visions. So for that big vision, you always need to look back and Acha, okay, I've done something, If you don't have that, you're going to have a lot of anxiety. You're going to be lost. Oh my God, I'm not able to do it. I'm nowhere. And you're also possibly going to drop off. So always look behind. Okay, I've achieved this much. Okay, I've achieved this much. Okay, I started here, now I'm here. So these are two different things.
You quoted Shah Rukh once. I'm going to quote him again. And he said, philosopher tab bano jab tumhare paas bahut sare paise ho.
हाँ.
You agree with that?
मेरे पास नहीं है फिर भी मैं हूँ.
So you don't agree with that? Okay.
No, what he's saying is amazing. It's right. But you invited me on this podcast, so I'm going to put my
Of course, why not? Why not? It's all for you. Okay, social media. That's one thing that we haven't really talked about. So how has being on social media changed your identity or shaped your identity?
It took time for me to understand what I want to do on social media. I am not an entertainer. I don't have those kind of talents where, either I'm a sportswoman or I'm a fitness instructor or I'm a choreographer, I'm a dancer, I'm a singer. I can't make any quality content on fashion. So it took me a lot of time to understand where am I fitting, First I started with, and also the kind of content I want to put out. How do I want to shoot stuff? Do I want to enact? Do I want to just write a message out? What kind of media? So it took me a lot of time to evolve there. Initially, I didn't know I can use my platform to talk about my experiences. I didn't know I can talk about my business. I didn't know I can empower women. I just started as, fun content creator. Slowly and steadily, I've evolved, and now I know that I can also be an influencer and not have those kind of skills or talent. Because influencer means you talk about something you believe in strongly, right? And people need to see it. And even if one person says, oh, you know what, I can relate to this, or you know what, I learned something over here. It can be something very simple. It took me time to reach here and understand. And now I can proudly say that I'm using my platform in a right way, because I talk things that I believe, that I myself follow. And yeah.
Do you get trolled on social media?
I honestly do a lot of things which a lot of people don't relate to very easily. Like, for example, if I were cooking something, a lot of trolling would have happened. I would have done some makeup things, a lot of trolling would have happened. A fashion, a lot of trolling. But I do a lot of things that are not mainstream. I usually talk a lot about fitness. I talk about protein. I talk about creatine. I talk about the business. I talk about podcast. So, but yeah, sometimes when I get trolled, those are very strong messages that I get. For example, people say, you're privileged. Now it's easy for you to say things. When you see someone, successful in life, or you feel that person's privileged, now this must be my decision that I took 10 years ago. Which is why you see the result now. For example, in my scenario, 10 years ago, I decided I want to do my business. I want to quit and I want to take that big risk, which is why I'm here. That's why you can say that I'm privileged today, right? So I do get trolled in a lot of ways, but I also feel that there is a need that I go and understand from where they are coming from. They haven't tried these things. That's why they're saying these things. Maybe I can change their perspective. I try to do that. A lot of times I win, a lot of times I don't.
बस इतना अंडरस्टैंडिंग बनना है लाइफ में कि ट्रोल्स को भी आप इग्नोर कर दो, इतना अंडरस्टैंडिंग बनना है.
Ignore a woman, especially, for everybody that's the case, but if you want to get out of your comfort zone, do something for yourself, एक ही चीज को भूल जाओ, which is वो लोग जो आप सोचते हो लोग क्या कहेंगे, like that लोग,
Crab
उनको भूल
mentality,
जाओ.
basically people trying to pull you down.
कुछ भी हो, कुछ भी हो, वो बोलेंगे कि अरे be careful. Like I get very annoyed when people, oh, be careful. I was playing violin and somebody messaged me, be careful about your back. Like, यार violin में क्या हो जाएगा back को, So you just have to not worry about what people say. For a woman तो especially, So अगर वो master कर लिया तो अब social media पे कौन क्या बोल रहा है, how does it matter?
कोई troll याद है, कोई comment याद है?
ये recently हुआ था privilege वाला.
Okay.
So
Does it keep on happening regularly, on a regular basis, this particular thing, privilege?
I just posted a reel on this motherhood thing. There was something that I posted and said it's very easy for you to say because you're privileged. And then I got over 20-30 likes on that comment.
Okay.
So which means that 20-30 women are trying to say the same thing to me, You're very privileged. So for you, motherhood is easy. For us, it's not easy. It's not easy for me either. So yeah, that's a different topic. But yeah. Happens.
Okay. So what is one advice that you would want to give to all the trolls that have been trolling you?
Nothing, I think. I mean, they are going to troll anyway. वो तो काम है. That's their... they're talking about themselves there. They're not talking about me. They don't even know me. So I don't think there is any advice that I can give to the trollers and they're going to stop and not do that. All I can give advice is to the people who are on the other side, who are facing it. Think about that day when you started. You didn't start for them, for what they will say to you. Will they say good things to you? They are not the ones who are helping you grow in your life. So I would have suggestion for them, ignore karo.
So what's your take on cyberbullying and does it really happen in Dubai?
Wouldn't specifically say it happens in Dubai because internet is such a thing which is, worldwide,
yeah.
right? So, of course it happens. One thing that I've understood is you don't have to be shy about anything or feel bad about something that someone else is doing to you, right? You need to know yourself, have that trust in yourself and stand for yourself. For me, it's very simple. If I see someone's talking really wrong stuff and I see that in the DM, that's the pattern, that this person spoke once wrong, and then second time, third time, I immediately put him into a general folder. And if needed, I also block that person.
Okay.
You have social media, it gives you so much access of doing so many things. Now, I am a small content creator. So for me, it's easy to do these things, right? And the bigger ones, I think, shouldn't mind whatever is happening.
Okay, cool. We talk about content creation. Let's talk about CarCast. You touched upon it. And that is one segment that I actually liked. We saw the videos before starting the interview and I could really connect to that. So how did it start and where you are thinking of taking it to?
Yeah. We start in the morning from our house. Me and my husband, we are in the same car always because we're going same places every time. We work out together. We go to office together. Home is together. So,
कैसे कर लेते हो आप लोग? मैं नहीं समझ पाता ये भाई. 24 hours around the same person. I mean, okay, it gives me the chills.
So there's a lot of time that we have together, and when we're in office or in gym, we don't get time to talk. Ghar pe bhi things are so busy, we don't get time to. So car is where we get time to talk. Now a lot of times I've put a perspective in front of my husband, which I might have also discussed with my best friends or discussed with any other woman in my life, my sister, my mother. The perspective I get from a man is so different from everything else, right? And I always had this gut feeling that his perspective is so different, But I never thought I want to put this out, right, earlier. And then it started happening very often. And I said, you know what, Neha, you have a platform, you have social media, you know how to make videos. Why don't you put this man's perspective out? And when I got very sure about this is when then I started meeting my gym instructor. And he also usually has same perspective like my husband. Many men have same perspective. For example, what do you think about Virat Kohli? My husband would say the same thing. The trainer would say the same thing. Other male, colleagues would say the same thing. I said, you know what? I need to get this out. This is not out on social media anywhere. I need to get this out. That's where I started the series called Making a Man Talk. where I ask one question to my husband. Questions like, what different you want to do as a father? What success means to every man? What Virat Kohli means to every man? Those kind of questions which are very, which you guys don't, talk about a lot.
Yeah, true.
And it started getting viral. Men started, relating to it and loving it. And yeah, that's how it is. And
it is very relatable.
And
Very.
thank you. And you asked me where I see this going. Nowhere. I don't have any plans as such. We both don't have any plans as such. We just want to make videos where people love. It's a different content, fresh content. People can relate to it. And then, some people also find it very informative and helpful. I think that's it. Abhi filal, this is where we are at. I don't know where it is going to go.
So, you speak so freely about men on CarCast, and it's your husband that is opening up to you. So what does it take to create that kind of space that your husband can open up to you so easily?
I think one common thing about men is they will say something once, they will gauge you. If they think that the response is not positive, they are not going to open up again. So I think for every wife, for example, we'll move back. It's not about this CarCast. It's about how me and my husband are. We have difficult conversations also, and we listen to each other. And that time, no matter what we feel, we let the other person talk. It's very important. Let them just open up, This is the kind of relationship me and my husband have. He can talk to me tough conversations. I can have tough conversations with him. It can be anything. It can be about my mother, his parents, our relationship. Anything, intimacy, anything, We have difficult conversations in our household, which is why he feels it is safe, she's going to listen. And I can put my effort and she will put in an effort to understand me, I think that chemistry is needed to be able to then reach a CarCast where you're posting something, you're asking your husband a question and he's answering about how a man thinks about that thing.
Have you ever been offended because of any answers that he's given?
No, never. Because most of these questions that I ask him are things that we've already discussed in past, and then I just record those things. So not offended at all because, he has very good values. He has very good things to say. He's a very practical person, a person who's exposed and had a lot of exposure in life through his failures, through, a lot of things that he's led. So I don't. I'm a very open-minded person and so is he. So no, I don't get offended.
I have a brilliant idea right now. Neha, let's go and do a CarCast.
You want
ask
me to
a
put
question.
you...
Yeah, put me on the spot. Embarrass
Wow.
me. Okay?
You sure?
We'll do this.
Have you seen my videos? I
have.
Okay, amazing.
I have.
Done. I have a question for you then.
All right.
Already.
All right. So do we want to do it in the car or do you want to sit here and do
It's
it?
CarCast.
Okay, let's do it in the car
my
then.
way.
So that would be included in the podcast, mind you.
Amazing. Let's do this. Welcome to our CarCast, where I make a man talk. I usually do this series with my husband, but Faizan said on the podcast that he wants to do this with me, so I'm going to put him on a spot now. So Faizan, I'm going to ask you a question now. They say that, usually everybody says, I will do anything for my kids. मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. You're a father, right?
Yes.
Tell me, what is it that you can do for your kids and what is it that you do for your kids?
Okay, I don't know what I do for them, Neha, frankly, क्योंकि I think सभी करते हैं जो मैं कर रहा हूँ, so nothing specifically that I can mention कि मैं ये special करता हूँ. But I try to give them as much time as possible, and Saturdays are for them. Yesterday I took them to Global Village, say for example.
Wow.
Yeah, so they wanted to go for rides, and this season they had not. So I took them to Global Village. We came back at 3 in the night, by the way.
Wow.
So this is the sort of thing that I do. I try to keep my Saturday free no matter how much I'm working. And the other thing that you asked me, what is it that you can do? Well, I can do anything under the sun for both of them. I have a daughter, I have a son, and if they ask me to give my finger away, I can do that. If they ask me to give my hand away, I can do that. If they ask me for anything and it's in my power and capacity, I will do it for them.
Okay, Faizan. So this is an amazing question, amazing answer. There is one thing that we're not able to do compared to, the generation before us, which is give time, and you're doing that. So that's the ultimate thing that you can give to your kids. एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहूँगी. I talked about fitness and you said ये मैं नहीं करता. तो ये अपने बच्चों के लिए करो. Do this for your kids. Take care of your health because they need a healthy father, a happy father. So do that. All right.
Noted. 3 advices that you want to give to any woman who wants to start their own business as a brand or online.
One is don't wait for the right time. There is never going to be right time. Second is don't think about what others are going to say. If you think you can do it, just go for it. Third thing is you will get everything your way. You will get whatever you need, your investors, you will get, tools, you'll get right people, right team, everything comes your way. You just need to show up for yourself. So I think these 3 things.
Okay, so manifest karna hota hai basically. Keep thinking positive and keep believing in
और सिर्फ
yourself.
manifest करते ही नहीं रहना है, action करो. That
True.
is important.
That also. So one habit that you eliminated that changed your life completely.
Pushing things for later. That started giving me a lot of anxiety because my life started getting so busy that I need to just get things out of my way very soon. If I keep it, I'm not going to sleep well because I'm going to think about it. That gives me anxiety. Next day is going to be bad. So don't delay things. Don't push things. You see it, do it, finish, move on.
After meeting you, I think I'm doing a lot of things wrong. Okay, so let's do a segment that's called This or That, the Entrepreneur Edition. Okay, so burnout or breakthrough, which one shows up first?
Burnout.
Okay, would you want to elaborate on that?
I've had so many employees in my organization who've, because I'm a new entrepreneur, it took time for me to understand this. But I've had a couple in the past where they said, I'm totally burnt out and this is my resignation, right? And when that happens, you're not able to do anything right. Your personal life, your professional life, your own health, nothing you can take care of. So, of course, it's our responsibility also as entrepreneurs to have the best place for people to work. But burnout is crazy. Once you have that.
What advice would you give to someone who's going through a burnout?
First of all, when you feel that something is weighing on you, talk about it. Whether it is to your family, whether it is to your bosses, whether it's to your colleagues, talk about it because there's always a solution. If there's no solution, have the courage to walk off. But talk it out. Don't let it reach to a level where your entire thing collapses. Then nobody can help you. A lot of times you feel that the door is closed, is locked. No, a lot of doors closed are not locked. Knock, ask.
Wow, that's well said. Funding pitch or baby tantrum? What's harder to handle when both are screaming?
Both. Both. For me, I have gone through everything. So both.
Okay. Build fast or build right?
Build right.
Okay, so you don't worry about timelines. You don't worry about team pressure.
No, you have to build right, but you can't take your own sweet time. But if you don't build it right, when it grows big, it's going to collapse. That collapse is really bad. Your foundation needs to be right, like any other thing.
How do you hire people? Based on the vibe that they have or based on their resume?
Based on the vibe. I have learned this because, a degree will get you entry into the room, but your character will decide how long you stay in the room. This we've learned hard way. So don't believe everything that you see on a resume because you want someone who is ready to learn. You want someone who's a good team worker, the one who brings a good vibe, positive vibe. A startup is a very difficult place to work. So I think that vibe is very important.
All right. If someone comes to you, isn't educated, but you see something in them, would you hire them?
I have had people like that who have turned up to be the best entrepreneurs. I said to you, best colleagues, best team member. I have said to you that I'm not a graduate from a business university, right? You need to have the willingness to do something in your life. That's very important.
Okay. Next, dumb questions you should never ask a social media influencer. And you're one. So I'm going to ask you very, very dumb questions. The dumb answer would be appreciated, by the way. So do you schedule your cry sessions like you schedule your posts?
What should...
Yeah, I told you. For example, I cry every day 3 p.m. I take out my time and I cry at 3 p.m. every day. Do you do that? Or do you cry at all?
Yeah, crying is very important. Crying is very important. And I think as an adult, it's important to schedule it because you will not cry in front of everybody. You want to look for a room where you can just go in private and, cry and come back. So yeah, scheduling is important. This is called, I think it's called emotional intelligence as an adult, where you have to schedule. Yeah. It's
Wow.
not like an alarm, but you have to schedule.
I
Come
thought
on.
this was a dumb question. Apparently not. Okay, moving on. If you lose followers, do you also lose confidence? Or do you just, carry on and do everything that you would like?
I don't lose confidence.
Okay.
But yes, people do. And I understand why they do, because that's their bread and butter. That's their platform. That's their career, right? So it definitely gives them anxiety.
When you post a video, do you keep on checking it, how many views it's got?
I love it. I'm also a businesswoman, so I love seeing numbers. So I love to see that dashboard, but it doesn't affect me. And also
Okay.
I post something that's something I love. So it doesn't discourage me to post the next video.
Okay. What are the least number of views that you would expect on your video?
Least number of views.
Minimum इतना तो होना ही चाहिए types ऐसा.
100,000 views तो होना ही चाहिए एक वीडियो.
हाँ मतलब इसमें भी
Because
vision
otherwise-
बड़ा सोचना है.
Because you're spending time, right?
Agreed.
You're putting quality stuff out there. So yeah.
And you said I don't take time on my videos. You did. I
For
caught
me,
you.
that much time also is precious. I take 25 to 30 minutes from office to reach home. That's a big amount of time.
Wow, man. So much to learn from you. Okay. This is a really dumb one, but I want to put it out there. How many selfies does it take before one becomes spiritually enlightened?
Spiritually enlightened. I just came to the podcast and I took over 40, 50 selfies, videos and all that, and 2 went on my social media.
Okay, so doesn't matter how many you take. Only 2 goes through your social
Yeah,
media.
yeah.
I hope one is with me. Okay, last and final question of the podcast. You've shared your life, your mom's life, and everything that you've gone through, and how your mother has gone through, and how she has bought tools to hit you. Yeah, auntie? She has revealed everything. Okay, so what is that one mic drop moment in your life where you would say, bro, I have arrived?
The day we sell Fitze and have our exit the way we plan is when I'm going to,
Okay, so not yet.
Not yet.
अभी तक नहीं है.
नहीं.
कुछ तो होगा, ऐसा कुछ तो किया होगा जो लगा कि अब बस नया कर लिया जो करना था.
नहीं, I've always had big dreams.
Okay.
So अभी तो I am in making.
So are you planning to sell Fitze?
Yeah.
Sometime soon?
That's what we plan. Yeah.
Anyone watching this podcast want to buy Fitze? It's a great business. It's doing really good. I haven't seen her bank account, but I can tell you this, that she's really rich. So you
Very
can buy
quickly,
Fitze.
I would like to say about Fitze. Fitze is a fitness rewards app that
Sure.
rewards people for walking. So we are spreading sustainable lifestyle. We're rewarding people to stay healthy. So that's what we do.
I saw it on the social media, by the way.
Thank you.
I
You
saw
need to
something like that.
download the app.
I will.
Yeah. You don't need to walk that extra mile. Whatever steps you're already taking can get you rewards. So
Simple as that. Earn money while walking. Thank you so much, Neha. It's wonderful to have you here with us on our show. And
it
I
was
hope.
amazing talking to you.
Thank you so much, Neha. Wonderful talking to you.
Thank you so
once
much.
again.
Same here. Thank you.